Hello and welcome. We're still on the topic of angels. Some people wonder where angels come from. They have always been in existence. However, there is a hymn that says they come from the realms of glory. We would like to know what angels look like. It's not what they look like that matters, it's what they do. Now let's look at the Book of Angels by David Jeremiah. Most Christians don't know a lot about angels, so it's time to learn. Most of them don't realize they each have at least one guardian angel assigned to them. There's a spiritual dimension that goes past logic, science, and our reasoning capability. Just be very careful not to wander into the dark side where Satan's demons are and can attack you. In 2 Corinthians 11:14, note that believing in them doesn't always lead to a better understanding of God's truth. Here's an example of why. In the year 610, the Islam founder wrote the unholy book, the Quran, thinking it was given to him by Gabriel. Oh, how very wrong. The Mormon Mr. Smith got their vision of the word from an angel he called Moroni. All this current interest in angels could just be Satan once again trying to lead us astray by disguising himself as an angel. Satan forgets that God's angels are only allowed to bring truth and grace into the lives of those they are sent to help. Be very careful not to get so wrapped up in angels that you forget their boss, because they are eternal. They do have a greater claim to reality than we do, and they always point us in the direction of their boss. Remember, this earth is enemy territory. Hebrews 1:14 tells us who angels are sent to. Yes, it's good to know about angels, but don't let knowing about them take your focus off their boss. Their number one mission is to draw you closer to their boss. Acts 23:8 says the only ones in the Bible who do not believe in angels were the Sadducees. Maybe that's why that group disappeared from history without a trace before the end of the first century. It takes childlike faith to believe in angels, and this group clearly didn't have it. Acts 5:17 and verse 21. Yet, because the apostles believed God's message that night sent by angels, the course of history was changed forever. Matthew 25:31 tells us why it's okay to believe in angels. Acts 8:28 and 27 shows how they direct us. Yet in verse 29 and 30, it says the Spirit took over. That shows us the two go together sometimes. Matthew 26:53 says Jesus could have called the angels to assist him. Then, just before leaving this earth, look what Matthew 28:18 says. One reason why we need to know about angels is because God created them. They help us live a holy life. They will help us avoid 1 Timothy 4:1 when the time comes. Let's take a glimpse at King David's angel experience in 2 Samuel 24:15 through 17. It was his prayer that stopped them. Now look at how they protected the holy city in 2 Kings 19:35. On your own, read Revelation 9:14 through 15, chapter 15, verse 1 and 6, and chapter 16, 1 through 21, and chapter 20, verse 1 through 3, Joshua 5:13 through chapter 6, verse 5. All are stories of warring angels in God's army. David may have written Psalm 34 while in the presence of his guardian angel. Daniel 6:19 through 22 tells us one saved him from the lion. In Acts 12:11, one rescued Peter from jail without waking up the guards. Talk about stealth ability. Exodus 23:21 through 21 tells us what our response to angels must be. We know from Numbers 22 and 23 that even animals can see them. We can clearly see that the guidance angels give us is specific. There is strength and comfort in their hands. Their voices can be soft and soothing or strong and commanding. Notice most of their messages start with words that the person is not to be afraid. That's until we get to Revelation 14:6 and 7. We are not to create or ask for, we aren't, excuse me, we'll just leave that out. Like, just look at how angels can be commercialized. When it comes to knowing about them, the Bible is the only true source. They never appear in the form of animals. Humans do not become angels. Anyone who thinks we turn into them when we die is wrong. There's no angel living inside of us, only the Holy Spirit. When someone calls you an angel, your reply should be, "No, I am not." Do not ever let them replace God in your life. Acts 17:27 through 28 tells us why. It can also lead to think that with angels around to help, you don't need God anymore. Do not go there. It's an insult to God. Exodus 33:1 through 3 tells us what can happen when we do. Do not do. Exodus 20, 3 through 5, with angels becoming idols because they are holy. Therefore, do not ever worship them. Colossians 2:18. Romans 1:25 tells us why this is a bad idea. Revelations 19:9 and 10 and 22:6 through 9. Our goal is Psalm 73:25 and 26. This is why most of the time they are invisible to us, to remove the temptation to worship them. Their number one job is to communicate the message God gives them for us in either words or deeds. God's character is to communicate, and he uses angels and prophets to do that. You may send your prayer request to heanswerstwo@gmail.com.